PS3 turned 15 years old today. So, congrats. We're 15 years older, guys. But we want to actually, this is kind of not so much centered around fighting games, but just really more so talking about your memories of the PS3, probably your favorite game from that area. Blase, how did it feel when you was like, yeah, the PS3 coming out, we at E3, you happy, dancing in front of the computer, and then next thing you know, they're like, all right, cool, so, you gonna give us that 600 minimal. So, starting with you, Mr. Gaming Live.
So it's crazy. I was 15 when I got my first PS3, and it's crazy, man. It was a lot of good memories on that console. I think the first game I got for it was Resistance, and I got Final Fantasy 12. So needless to say, I had a pretty good year that year when it came out. It's crazy to look back at it, man. It's wild that it's been that long. The fact that when it first came out, it was only 60 gigs, which 60 gigs is nothing now. And back then it was like, I got 60 gigs. So that was crazy. Looking at stuff now where like a full game is 60 gigs, It was an awesome time. And the thing I liked about it most when it first came out was the backwards compatibility. You could play PS1 and PS2 games on the PS3 when it first came out. So that was in itself was awesome. And if anybody still has their original PS3, it's got to be dope. I still have mine, but it's like broken technically. So it messed. It caught the infamous yellow light of death.
Oh no!
Yeah, I managed to fix it a few times, but it was no return for it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of good games on it. God of War 3 is a classic on that system. Metal Gear Solid 4. A lot of games on that system. The Final Fantasy 13 at the time was like the Final Fantasy for the PS3, but it's like I have a love-hate relationship with that game. So it was very pretty and beautiful, but I didn't quite like that game. But another thing was like this was the advent of the crossover of HD. So at the time, I was still playing PS3 on a CRTV, which you think about now, it's crazy. Like I remember playing Final Fantasy 13, like I could barely see the text because the game's resolution, it was really set for like HD resolution. So I'm just looking at the screen. I finally got an HD TV, and I was like, it's a whole new world. Like that was awesome, man. So yeah, it's so many memories I had with the PS3, man, and the fact that it's 15 years old, man, that's crazy. Like I said, I was 15 when I first got mine, or 15 or 14 or somewhere around there. So yeah, man, this is awesome, man. One of my favorite consoles. I had a lot of fun on it. Just being able to go online and download games and download demos. The PSN store, all this stuff was just like it was just revolutionary at the time. The crossbar, like navigating the menus, it was such a revolutionary time for like consoles. And to see where we've come now, like 2 more consoles later at the PS5, is kind of crazy. I remember when there was like I think like mock-ups of like the PS5. So it's not even real yet. We ain't even got a PS4 yet, but now we actually legit have a PS5. So happy birthday to the PS3, man, and it definitely knit me some memories, man. So I have nothing but good things to say about it.
Okay, so first off, like the PS3, I remember when the PS3 came out, and I remember thinking, wow, that is really expensive. $600 for a console. And I mean, like I was saying earlier, like the PS3 didn't have enough games when it came out, like enough like games that were PS3 exclusively in order to come out and be like, yeah, man, give us $600 for this. Like $600 upfront, man. PS3 ain't have no games. Like, how you gonna sell a $600 console with no games? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
This man is on one today.
Ask Xbox that question. I think they should know the answer.
I'm like, well, I mean, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
They should know the answer to that question.
I'm just saying, man. PS3 and that, like, basically, it was a glorified Blu-ray player when it came out, man. Like, let's be 100%. Like that game, like for a hot minute, like people were like, "Yo, man, did you get Heavy Rain? Oh, okay, cool. Let's play Heavy Rain. Oh, wait a minute, this is basically just a movie."
That was a fire game, man.
It's basically like it's basically a slightly interactive movie. Like, I mean, let's be it's a lot of like the kind of stuff that people like clowned on about, like, yo man, QuickTime events. I'm like, that game is a whole lot of QuickTime events. So, but anyway, I do appreciate like what the PS3 was, what it was. Like, I did think that it was really cool that when it came out, that it did play the PS2 games, even though like later on they kind of took that out, like, and it was kind of like, well, why would you take that feature out? And it's like, well, if people are buying old games, they're not buying new games. It's like, come on, man. Like, that's so lame. Like, it's, I mean, like, you guys have already released these games. We still want to play them, and we're not allowed to play them. You don't want us to play them anymore because you want us to buy the new games. It's so, so insidious almost. You know what I mean? Like, why would you? Sony, man. Sony. What can you say about Sony, man? Like, I don't know, man. A lot of people might, like, Michael Jackson was right, man. Sony is phony sometimes. But anyway, like, I'm just saying, man. Like, I mean, there were some cool games that came out for the PS3, but man, it's $600 is a high price point for like a console that was like, only slightly better than like the other ones. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was leaps and bounds better than like the Xbox 360, and it definitely didn't even sell more units than the Wii. So it's like, it's kind of in that middle ground, I think. And even then, like, it wasn't even like, as far as the FGC was considered, it wasn't even like the standard for like the most popular game at the at one point, which was Street Fighter 4. Like, everybody played Street Fighter 4 like on Xbox 360. Like, that's where it was played on, not on PS3. Like, they played on everything on PS4s now, but back in the day, it was Xbox 360 all the way. So I don't know, man. Like, happy birthday to PS3, but man, $600.
Well, I remember that lawnmower man getting it in back there, ain't it? But one thing, back in the times of the old PS3, I can remember watching E3 and seeing the PS3 and stuff like that, and being fantastically happy about it. And during that time, I really didn't have a concept of money. I knew $600 was a lot of money because it was more than what they was paying for other consoles. So when I went to my dad and was just like, "Hey man, can I get a PS3?" It kind of never showed up. So, I was hoping my mom would get it for me and stuff like that. And I'm wishing and hoping and praying. I'm like, yeah, Christmas is here, about to open that gift and get it. And I went and tore up the box, and next all I saw was blue and white. So I was just like, well, this definitely ain't the PS3. Well, it's a gaming console, but it ain't the PS3. So around that time when the PS3 was out, I was on my journey to becoming the best Wii Sports bowler, the best Red Steel shooting game player, the best Donkey Kong Smash player that I could be. I was doing my best to be the best Dance Dance Revolution champion that I ever could, the best that no one ever was. I was doing my best to, what's another game on the Wii we used to play a lot? I was trying to get my archer skills up out through the roof, stuff like that, so when everybody else was playing, glorious PS3 games, I was playing Wii Sports. So I really don't have too much fond memories of the PS3 because that was during my Smash Brothers era. The most I could say was we was playing Call of Duty so heavy on the PS3. My goodness. When the PS3 price finally went down and they came to their senses, certain people finally got the PS3. And so we was on Black Ops and all that other stuff profusely. So that's when I hopped into it. And it was good times, man. Black Ops, all that. I will say on the Xbox, that's what we used to play Modern Warfare 2. So that was great. But when you talking about the Xbox, so the PS3, I have fond memories with it, not as much as other people because, I was forced to be a Wii person. So, creating my little me's and, trying to create Mr. T, Goku, and all these other people within the app, so that's where I was spending my time. So, PS3 is a dope era. I mean, you definitely can't take that from it. I mean, you know, it had some very, very large shoes to fill after the PS2 because that thing, I mean, that's still the best selling console of all time. You know, so I mean, that was selling. That was selling PS2s. Like the PS3 just came out, and the PS2 still selling high at Christmas. You
Yep.
know, still like when that man, when they finally stopped making PS2s, it was still selling. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, it has some it has some dope shoes to some big shoes to fill. But I think the PS4 sold more than the PS3,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, it just kind of, I mean, you was after the PS2 and you came in with that silly price.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Came in at 3 times the price basically of like the
and then
PS2.
that's when the Wii came out, and so they was really taking stuff because families was more so thinking they need Wiis and stuff like that. And you know, Xbox was there. It was there. So yeah. Anybody else have anything that?